Because Can never could do nothing, and couldn't
King his cousins.
No family of ours. We belong to the Can family. But they've been kicking the can for quite some time. The devil and his Luciferians. But now we're going to show them what Chrome can what?
Do.
So watch out, Lou. Because we coming for you now. You see? You want to mess with the royal family of minds? You done your time is just about played yourself what? All the way up and out. And I know you know it. Because we know what your new devil is. See, you know how they say in the book of Revelation, there will be what? That old serpent called the devil and Satan, right? When it says that old serpent, what it's implying is that there will one day be a new one. Well, we're going to talk about what this new devil is and what he's doing. You follow that? We're going to pull the covers off his butt and say, there he is, where everybody can see his ass. Okay? Now, one thing I will say is response time is everything. Let me explain what I mean by this. As Osolites members, the mind has got to move extremely fast along with the hands and the body. What do I mean by that? One day I was on the land and Pop was teaching. And I took a Puerto Rican friend of mine from Atlanta named Fuego. Fuego in Spanish means what? Does anybody know?
Fire.
It means fire, right. And everybody had their hands up, and Pop said, next question, and pointed to Fuego, right? Fuego said, I don't mean to change the subject. Pop said, well, then don't. Next question. See how fast the mind is supposed to move? He said, I don't mean to change the subject. Pop said, well, then don't. Next question. You understand? And one thing we do know, check this out, y'all. There's a surah in the Quran called Salatul Asr, which talks about how each person is supposed to be moving towards perfecting their being. To a certain level of what? Perfection in everything you do and everything you what? Say. Am I understood?
Understood.
Yes.
And so, these are the things that we have to be constantly mindful of, and without question, listen to this. I'm here to remind you. Okay, are you understanding that?
Yes.
Pop is the reformer of this day and time. I don't claim to be the reformer, now do I?
No.
I am the reminder, meaning I am sent here to remind you of what reformation is all about. Am I understood?
Yes.
And you can't tell me that when you hear my voice, it don't remind you of my father. Now, doesn't it?
Yes, indeed.
So on that note, his legacy lives what?
On.
On and on like Erykah Badu did. You built me. And never will let, listen, the legacy of the reformer of this day and time not remain in the forefront of each of our what?
Mind.
Mind. We are the family of royal minds. That's why I had everybody turn their cameras what? Off. Because this is just like being in triple darkness. All over what? Again. Because you can't see each other's faces, but we can hear each other's what?
Voices.
Tone.
Voices, right. And one thing we do know is that from one being to the next, each tone we have to become familiar with. But I'm going to tell you the tone that's all wise, right, and exact. The tone of Atun Re, which is the tone of Atun Re. And Amun Re, trust me, y'all ain't trying to see. He's called the hidden one. You follow? My father is the angel Michael, him what?
Self.
I'm the angel Gabriel. Did you know that? What does Gab mean? Ground, that's right. What does Ra mean?
Man.
Ra means the sun in the sky. You follow that? And L is the definite article that belongs to the Most High what? Only. You follow that? So I am the Sun Messiah who walks on this planet, who works for the Most what?
High.
High. You follow that? All of us are called what? Angels. Michael, Uriel, Raphael, Gabriel. You follow that?
Follow.
And what does the name Michael mean?
There's to be like
Is
L.
to be like L. Who is like him.
It's a statement. Meaning anybody who tries to be like Anu himself, they got to come through Baba what? First. You follow me? That's the declaration that Baba made when he put his foot down in the footprints of the what? Sand. Okay? Many people on this planet still don't know that Baba is the one who wrote footprints in the sand. But more importantly, they really don't know how he was able to write it. Do any of you?
No.
No. No.
Let me explain. How many of you are familiar with a thing called tribal way?
Yeah. Yeah, we heard it. All of us.
Okay, if somebody explain what tribal way is.
You gonna go?
Like what?
Anybody?
Anybody.
Okay, well, you can explain. I'm sorry. I'm in the store. My bad.
The question I'm saying, I would like one from amongst you to explain what tribal way is.
That's like a punishment.
Okay, real quick. Keep in mind, I'm saying, first off, we're talking about footprints in the what?
Sand. In the sand.
That was written by Baba, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I then went on to say, how many of you know how he was able to write it? And everybody said no. Right?
Right.
Right.
So what I'm doing is I'm refreshing your memory. Because again, I then went on to say, how many of you have ever heard of tribal what? Way. And I said, can one from amongst you please explain what tribal way is? Don't everybody talk at once.
It's a punishment.
Everybody better be looking for that song. I ain't forgot.
It's a punishment being put outside the love of the family for disobeying orders.
Exactly.
Both a violation or could be amongst the things, but for mainly it's more or less of a punishment.
Exactly, because watch this. Feel so good loving somebody when somebody loves you back. Is that the fact? To be loved and be loved in return is the only thing that my heart desires. So appreciate the little things you do. You feel that? To be loved and be loved in return to be the only thing that your heart desires. Am I understood?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you have a love that loves you no matter what you what do. Is that something you want to piss on?
Nope. Nope.
But to piss on a love like that is a travesty. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
When you got motherfuckers who love you, check this out, no matter what, you don't want to piss on that. So people who piss on that, what we do is we open the circle and kick that being out into the desert. You follow me?
Yes. Yes.
And so what that means is, we don't gotta die you, we don't rahu back you, we don't assalamu alaikum, we don't shalom alaikum, we don't nigga, we look at you like you ain't even what?
Shit.
And you ain't there. And that you don't count no what more in our circle of love. Are you understanding that?
Yes.
So the equivalent of the desert here today would be what is called the dunya. Out into the world, and now you out there all by your what?
Self.
Self. There is no more calling on us. You can't call us and ask us to do what? Shit. While you on tribal what? Wait. And if anybody violates that by showing you any sense of love whatsoever, they go on tribal what? Wait. Okay? So, picture it like we all in the desert, right? But we're living in an oasis that's immaculate and brilliant and beautiful. And all of us are able to stay there and live there and have the things we need by the grace of the Most High, Him what?
Self.
But then one day, one from amongst us sows their natural born fucking what? Ass. Doing something ass backwards that affects us what?
Oh.
Us all. We then look at this motherfucker and say, tribal way, you got to what? Go. And we open the circle and we walk into the edge of the oasis and we kick that motherfucker out in the what?
Desert.
Not to die, but to come so close to death. What do I mean by that? The motherfucker gets out in the desert and he just keeps on walking. And he walks and he walks and he walks while the desert sun is beating him on the head. You feel me? He's lifting the top. He's now starting to dehydrate. And he's walking and walking and walking. And it's almost like there is no end to that walk. Now say it takes 11 days before this motherfucker falls what?
Yeah.
Right? However long it took for him to get out there, that's how long one of our braves is going to have to walk also to find his what? His ass. You see? So once we know that an ample amount of time has gone by, and we're saying to ourselves, damn, this nigga didn't have no water, he didn't have nothing. So he should be done fell out by now, right? Then we send one of our braves, who's brave as a motherfucker, to go out in that desert looking for this nigga. Because everybody knows anybody who goes out into that desert most times doesn't come what? Back. So, the brave will then get his canteens filled up, get everything he needs, put it on his walk, and start to walk. And if it took that tribal member 11 days to fall out, it's still going to take the brave 11 days to reach him. You feel me? But this brother is well supplied. He has all the water he what? Needs. Then he sees the nigga in the sand. Done fell the fuck what? Out. One step from being what?
Dead.
And he walks over the top of the nigga and he says, have you had enough? And I want you all to remember the way these things are said, because you have to learn to say them identically as I'm saying them what? Right what?
No.
So the rule is, the brave overlooks the nigga and says, have you had enough? And the nigga who's laying there, he says, yes, I've had enough. And then the brave says, do you want to come home? And the dude says, yes, I want to come home. Then the brave says, now what do you have to say in order to come home? And the dude who's in the sand says, I'm sorry for doing whatever it is I did, and I'll do my very best to see to it that something like that never happens, what? Again. It's at that point, the brother who is well supplied, the brave, will pick the brother up out the sand, give him water, a little bit at a what? Time. Because you give him too much water, it'll fuck him what?
Oh.
When you dehydrate it like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
So the brave is educated in how to administer this type of love. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then he starts to administer this type of love to the knucklehead that messed up in the first one. Exactly. And then they start to walk what? Back. Now, if it took 11 days to get out there, what's that telling you?
It'll be 11 days to get back.
There you go. And somewhere in that 11 days, guaranteed, the motherfucker who was out there is going to fall the fuck what?
Out.
Even with water. Then the brave, it's his responsibility. Why? Because he has the ability to respond now to that being's needs, right?
Right.
He picks that brother up out the sand, and puts him in his arm, and he starts to walk, carrying this nigga. You follow me?
Yeah.
And then he comes to a place where he sees footprints in the what?
Sand.
That's leading back to the oasis. Are y'all understanding that?
Yes.
And his responsibility is to put his foot down into those footprints without moving one grain of what?
Sand.
Because to move one grain would be to dishonor all of his predecessors, meaning all those beings who were successful at carrying their brother back home after that brother had fucked what?
Up.
And if that person moves one grain of sand, dishonors all the people who were successful in doing it before that brave was called upon to do it for his brother or his sister. You follow that?